doing today? Are you the one who hates the interview process because you have fear for the interviews? Lot of people, despite having competency, they lack interview skills or they have fear of the interviews. For some people, even the setup of the interview itself will make them feel anxiety about the interview. These people wish there was no interview process and just given an opportunity to work based upon their competence. They also miss the opportunities or skip the interviews because they have the fear of interviews. Let us see what are the aspects because of which people fear of the interview. Number 1. It is quite natural to have fear of interviews because we are not used to talking with strangers alone in a room. Fear of interviews is also called ergophobia. Number 2. The second reason is they create an imagination that the interviewer might ask difficult questions for which they do not have any answers or they are not able to answer the questions. Number 3. Another reason could be they imagine that the interviewer might not be impressed with their performance and the outcome of the interview is negative. Number 4. Finally, there must have been too much of pressure on the candidate to secure a job. The pressure could be because of various reasons. It could be because of the financial situation of the family or lack of the opportunities in the field by the candidate who has chosen the field, and hence they feel that precious opportunity is missed. Now let's talk about the aspect of how to overcome the fear of interviews. If you observe the aspects of fear that we have just talked about, there are two issues that we need to consider. First, it is to do with the preparation, and second, it is to do with the imagination. Giving interview is also a skill. Quite often people don't treat this as a skill and hence they don't spend enough time on the preparing for the interviews. And upgrading on the skill means one must have a strategy and take action to improve the skill. About imagination, for most of the students, the fear of the interviews is caused because of the imagination they carry about the interviews. Fear is an intense emotion that appears by the detection of imminent threat, involving an immediate alarm reaction that mobilizes the organism by triggering a set of physiological changes. Since the candidates carry negative imagination, they experience these physiological changes and become the victims of fear. We will now share the tips on how to overcome the fear of interviews by tackling these two aspects. How to improve the interview skill. Number 1. Network with new people and frequently strike conversation and talk about work-related aspects. This reduces the fear of talking to strangers and also helps you practice talking spontaneously. Remember that an interview is not about getting a job, it is about sharing your skills. So the game plan is about improving the techniques of conversation. Number 2. Have clarity on the job role, then anticipate and prepare for the questions that can be asked. Prepare a strategy on how to showcase the interviewer that you have the required skills for the job. Create a panel of your own practice mock interviews. It could be your parents or siblings or your friends. Or you could record your own videos on how you'll answer the questions in the interview. Observe, take feedback on what areas you need to improve and practice the mock interviews multiple times till you get comfortable. Practice smiling. When we smile, it exhibits confidence. If you practice smiling while giving interviews, it creates a positive impression in the interviewer's mind. If you don't smile, the interviewer can easily make out that you are nervous and not confident, which is not a good sign. Number 5. Practice how to calm your nerves before going for an interview. It could be listening to music or practice breathing or taking a walk. You can choose anything that you find it comfortable with. It is important to cool your nerves before you attend the interview. Now, how to tackle the imagination part of the challenge. Number 1. Think about what is the worst that can happen. Write it down, and if you look at it, you will understand that there is nothing much you are going to lose. After you understand the worst thing, now focus on the positive in the worst thing, which is you gain one more experience of attending an interview. Number 2. Constantly remind yourself about your accomplishments and the strengths. This will not only improve your self-worth, it also improves your body language and posture. Number 3. Plan something exciting that you can do after the interview. Look at it this way. Maybe you're not looking forward to the interview in front of a complete stranger. But what's something you would be looking forward about and give you that excitement? A nice meal in your favorite restaurant, a movie with your friends, or going shopping, whatever it is. Prepare for it. You must have something awesome to look forward to and focus on instead of your jitters. Number 4. Constantly visualize that you are getting through your interview. Imagine all the stages of the interview in your mind. The date, the venue, the time, the waiting area, how you will enter the room, how you will greet the HR, how you will sit in the chair, how you will answer your questions, how will you smile, how will you handle difficult situations. Imagine every single detail and remember to imagine the outcome to be positive. Number 5. Talk to yourself that I like my work and I enjoy talking about my work. It's alright if I get selected or not get selected. There is no big deal. This way you can reduce the pressure on yourself. If you follow these 10 tips, you can definitely overcome the fear of an interview and get through in any interview that you appear for. Thank you for watching the video. All the best and see you soon.